Power to the people. Power to the truth. I'm entitling this video on the race to save humanity. There is a race going on to save humanity that many of us are in. We're involved to different degrees, at different levels, and we realize that humanity is an endangered species. We are all actually one race, not say four, black, brown, yellow, white. We're not colors. We're human beings. In order to help save humanity, many of us earthlings wage and get involved in liberation movements. Here in the USA, September 17th marks the 2nd year anniversary of Occupy Wall Street, and it had a global impact, and its influence still survives. We need to really closely examine, how movements arise, how they fall, how they arise, how they fade away, and understand that we are still living under a mature fascism here in the USA. A lot of the conditions and contradictions that created Occupy Wall Street still exist. In fact, they're worse now more than ever. So, this is really an ancient war that humankind has fought for centuries between, the good versus the evil. It is complex. It's not all black and white. We have a truly evil empire that controls the global economy. And there are liberation movements taking place in different places around the world. And as long as people still live in the misery of poverty, as long as people still suffer under tyranny, as long as the children still cry in agony, there will be liberation movements. It's not going away. We have common denominators. Food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and quality education are 5 basic survival needs and common denominators. Yet we also have certain common values that we share as human beings, certain common desires that we share as human beings. We want to be happy. Might sound real simple, but many people are not happy. Many people are sad. sad because of their suffering. We want to be healthy. We want to live in a healthy society, where our needs are met, where we have good relationships with others, where we can be in a situation where there's peace and hope and harmony. Sometimes that just seems like a fantasy, I know. So we need to be aware of the here and now, and see that as we strive for liberation, that there are factors working against us, including the evil empire. Along with the evil empire are the military forces that protect that evil empire. The armed forces. The army, local police, and those who would support an evil system and forget their oath to defend and protect the Constitution. Our constitutional rights are inherited by us by virtue of us being human beings, creatures of the Creator. They were institutionalized in the U.S. Constitution. Yet we are born with these humane rights. So we have an identifiable enemy, the evil U.S. empire. And it's not strictly U.S. The empire exists in many forms throughout the world. Though the USA regime is a spearhead for it all. And at the same time, we have to be concerned about the crisis of the ecology. That we are damaging Mother Earth. That we belong to the earth does not belong to us. So we have to deal with, the climate crisis. Whether you believe in global warming or not, I assure you this ecology, this earth ecology, is in critical danger. If that isn't enough, we have to deal with our own character defects. Greed, hatred, lust, others. These character defects can be the tipping point in terms of whether we destroy ourselves as a species or not. So we wage war, we engage in politics, understanding that war is politics with bloodshed, and politics is war without bloodshed. And at the same time, this is all a great spiritual struggle to help save the soul of humanity. So we're faced with the external threats to our survival as a species, in terms of an evil empire and its supporters, and we got internal threats to our existence in terms of our own character defects. If they're not checked, can signify the downfall of humanity. So we wage a liberation war. Wherever we're at upon Mother Earth, and we seek to have unity with all people who share our ideals, who see our common needs, to realize that we really need to come together as a species, or else we can risk the extinction of ourselves as a species. So there's no blueprint. We each have to make a factual analysis of actual conditions in a given situation. The time, the place, the terrain. So what could apply in, say, Syria may not apply in, or doesn't apply, say, in California. What can apply in Turkey may not apply in Iran. So we need to continue to engage in mass education, educate to liberate, help to wake people up from their sleepwalking. The people are human beings who many who live in fear. Many who live in clouds of confusion. Many who do not have any agenda. Many who do not have priorities in their lives. So that we're scattered out. I believe that coagulating, creating a collective global consciousness will be essential for us to save humanity. And no matter how bad the odds are against us, for the sake of our lives and for the sake of our children and for the sake of our future, it's worth the effort to try to make it better, to try to transform connected reality, to try to create a new world where people can live and love and play and prosper. This is not idealistic, this is not fantasy, this is sensuality. Do not assume we have all the time on the road to just waste on irrelevant bullshit. Sex, music, and drugs. Toxic relationships. We got to do what we can to survive, we need decent jobs, we need decent housing, and we need to address a collection of critical social issues that collectively, together, are reasons why we need to have revolution now. We need to exhaust all legal, peaceful methods of struggle as we can. Some places are so far gone that their only rational alternative is violence, through violent revolution. I'm not advocating violence here. I'm just saying that sometimes when people are pushed to the wall, when they're pushed to the edge, they'll do anything they can to survive, to defend themselves. So those who speak now against our right to bear arms, against us having guns, are counter-revolutionary, disguised with a liberal mask. So we're in this race to save humanity. And we've got to look at it as a marathon, a long-distance marathon, and not be in constant anxiety, not being stressed out all the time, to seek a balance in our lives. Where there's times that we struggle, there's times that we just sit back and relax. There's times when we read and we write and we love one another. So if you're interested in getting involved in the liberation movement, whatever liberation movement that it is, do so in a way that harmonizes with your life. Do so in a way that is a balance. There's a balance. We're a three-part being of mind, body, and soul. To keep that balance, to take care of your mind, train the brain, to take care of your body, eat as healthy as you can, avoid toxic substances, and spend time meditating with your soul. Remember that as an entity, we are a trinity of the mind, body, and soul. And keep a balance this way. I'm addressing this video to radicals. Straight up radicals. Radicals make a difference in the success or failure of any liberation movement. When we see that we need to get to the roots of the matter, when we got to question those who are in power, we got to question authority figures in our lives. We need to take seriously our duty as humane beings to help others. That begins with knowing who we are, with helping ourselves to become better equipped, to become more functional in the world, and to acquire the tools and tactics that we need to move forward. And we may be a small minority right now, but as time goes on, as the situation develops more, as people become more and more desperate, they will be looking for guidance, for common sense, and even for wisdom. So we must not shirk from our responsibilities. We can do what we can, and together we can transform the whole world. So don't lose faith in yourself. Don't lose faith in the people. Faith is an important quality in the liberation movement. As a spirituality too, we learn from our mistakes. We learn despite our flaws. We just need to be open to learning. For example, if the majority of people believe in a God or another, they believe in, say, religion, then we need to be able to tap into that. To have people see that even though we may not agree with their religious principles, if those are headed in a positive direction that can help people, through their church ministries, and we should support that. We should support any activity that helps to advance the people, any activity that helps to educate them, any activity that inspires them. We don't want to have a liberation movement without spirit. In fact, you cannot have a successful liberation movement without spirit. Well, that may seem like an intangible. Come to realize that we are ultimately spiritual beings in a physical form we call our bodies. We are not just our minds, though the mind can be, the throne of thought. It's ultimately our spirit that keeps us going. Our spirit that has the potential to be eternal. We may disagree on specific matters, on specific issues. Yet we need to have a universal consensus about where we're at, where we've been, where we want to go, and how we're going to get there. I propose a form of intercommunalism, where we have different communes that are growing, that are being created, that are developing, that are expanding, and that we unite, with our commune with other communes in the world. There's an intercommunal unity. So learn to command the power of the word. For example, the whole left wing versus right wing contradiction. The truth is in the center. The truth is not a wing, left or right. The truth is in the center of connected reality. So, see, fascism and its propaganda machine, they know how to manipulate the masses, mentally. They don't even have to shoot us all down. We shoot ourselves down. So we got to be aware of how fascist propaganda plays into our lives, and not become suckers. Use your mind, but fill with your heart too. So we're in this big race to help save humanity, realizing that we may lose. The evil powers in the world may end up destroying us all. And for sure, if they do, it will be because we allow them to do so. When I say we, I mean humanity. 7+ billion. We are plus 99% of the global population against minus 1% of the population. So the odds are in our favor. We have numbers. We have justice on our side. We have the truth on our side. We have the natural thirst for liberation on our side. So together we can do this. Though we may have our little flags, for our little causes. We may have ethnic differences, ethnic movements, tribal movements. We need to see that, we should all be working towards global liberation. And in that process, working on our spiritual liberation. This is not brain science. It's natural. For you to resist evil, it's the goodness in your soul that brings out that resistance. Where you know right from wrong. Where you have morals. Where you have principles. Where you have beliefs that you're willing to fight for, and if need be, die for. So let's do what we can to unite with one another, not to take everything personal, and really take a look at how we're spending our lives, how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, and how we can create a new world. I can see it on the horizon. Namaste.